was just told that I should put my mic in to react to this ending. Six got taken by the Thin Man and was corrupted because of it. And that music box was part of the reason for corrupting her, so we had to destroy it. And now it looks like the signal tower Void is just not happy about that. Get up, Mono! Get up, Mono! Okay. No. You can't be serious. I just saved you. And you just drop me. After everything I saved her 3 times, and she just drops me. I'm speechless. Wow. Unbelievable. I feel so bad for Mono. Oh my god. Getting bigger. Growing up. I mean, how long was Mono trapped in the void, basically? Wait. No. He can't be. I can't be. Oh my god. Mono's the Thin Man? I'm the Thin Man? beginning. There's the hallway and the door. So I was the Thin Man all along. Or I became the Thin Man. I got all the glitched remains, so this is the secret ending now. You bitch. You saved yourself and left me to become the Thin Man. That's the Maw. This happened before Little Nightmares 1? Oh my god. So... Hold on, let me... So did all of this happen before Little Nightmares 1? Because in Little Nightmares 1... 6... You know, woke up in a suitcase or whatever in the mall. And throughout the first Little Nightmares 1, you know, there's periods in time where, you know, you get hungry or whatever, and, you know, you find food, or you get, you know, a piece of bread once, and then you eat a rat the next, and then you unfortunately eat a gnome at the end, and then she ends up eating the, oh, spoiler alert, the final boss in Little Nightmares 1. She eats the lady, if you will. Gets eaten in the DLC. No, from what I'm understanding, is Mono, which is the boy with the, you know, the bag on his head. Mono is the Thin Man, and the Thin Man's Mono. There's like a time loop thing. Because in the second to last bit, with, you know, when every time we found like a television or whatever, every time we found a television, you know, we would Mono, obviously it has like the powers to manipulate the television or the broadcast or whatever, and every time we interact with the televisions, you know, we would, you know, bend the reality or the signal or whatever, and then we would get teleported into a long hallway. And each time that we got teleported into the hallway, we were getting closer and closer to the door. Each time, Six was pulling us out of the TV or out of the broadcast. At the end, the third time, in the Pale City in the last episode, we actually got to the door, we opened it, and behind the door was the Thin Man. And then when Six pulled us out, the Thin Man followed and basically chased Mono and Six, and then took Six. like, you know, we were running through the hall or whatever, and then into like a kid's room, and Mono hid under the bed, and Six hid under the table, and you know, the Thin Man found Six and basically like took her and left like a shadow or a glitched remain of her. So that's, if Mono's the Thin Man, or if it's some kind of like time loop where, you know, at the end Six betrays Mono, Mono becomes the Thin Man, and then a younger Mono, you know, finds Six and goes through the adventures up until that point when Mono releases the Thin Man, aka, you know, past Mono or whatever, adult Mono, if you will. Obviously, it seems like Mono, aka the Thin Man, would hold some sort of regret, or not regret, resentment towards Six, and want to stop her from basically betraying him, aka Mono. Hence why he took Six. But little Mono, you know, younger Mono, if you will, doesn't know what's going on, or, you know, so he goes to save Six without knowing that Six is going to betray him, and thus the cycle continues. You know, Six gets abducted by the Thin Man, aka Mono. The little Mono goes to the signal tower, or defeats the Thin Man, goes to the signal tower, rescues Six, and then at the end, it just repeats and recycles, it seems like. And then it seems like that Little Nightmares 2 is a prequel to Little Nightmares 1, because, like I said, I went on my own time, you know, after every level or whatever, and went back and got like all the like the glitched remains, or like, you know, you see the black shadows of like little children or whatever, and, you know, whenever Mono walks up to him, he kind of just like hunches over in pain or whatever. You know, I went back, I heard that if you get all the glitched remains, then there's a secret ending, and that was the part where, you know, you see Six jumping out of the TV and seeing what seems to be like a shade of herself, if you will. But throughout that whole bit, you know, the whole game, she wasn't overtaken by any kind of hunger or anything like that. She also didn't have her signature raincoat, you know, for the first half until after the teacher, or after the school. So that leads at least an assumption, if you will, that Little Nightmares 2 is a prequel to Little Nightmares 1, and Six is obviously the bad person, or it's alluded to that Six is a bad person. I'm guessing so. I mean, granted, I've never played The Littlest Nightmare. I know that it's a game, it's like an app or something. But yeah, I mean, but that just raises a bunch of questions, like, where do all the visitors or whatever from the mall, where do they come from? Because, you know, all the places, or all the people on the mall are like big and fat and, you know, whatever. And if I remember correctly, part of that was, you know, Six was climbing up a chain, or on the outside of the mall climbing up, and you see a bunch of like big fat people walking up in to get into the mall. In the Pale City, they're all, you know, super thin, obviously, and all of that. The viewers, I think they're called. God, that just blew my fucking mind. Honestly, out of granted, I've only played 2 of the games, you know, Little Nightmares and Little Nightmares 2. This game is amazing. I loved it. Like, I actually didn't know that it was 6 until, you know, the raincoat part. I was like, oh my god, it's actually 6. And then I kind of stayed away from promotional material and stuff like that. And then at the end, was told to just, like, I was going to do a silent playthrough of this, and I was told, hey, at the end, put in your mic, because, you know, reaction or whatever. So I'm like, alright. So the Thin Man / Mono took 6. Little Mono defeated the Thin Man, Mono, went into the broadcast, the broadcast station. The broadcast station corrupted 6 to make her into that big old monster thing. And of course the music box, which we found her with in the beginning, kind of like entrancing her. So we destroyed the music box to free her, and then when we were escaping, she stabbed us in the back and dropped us to save herself. And then we stay in the broadcast area, or we're stuck in the broadcast area, and we become the Thin Man, and the cycle continues. It seems like, the Thin Man's trying to break the cycle. AKA Mono. Wow, that's... You want to know something? Storytelling in games is difficult, okay? To bring forth a story into a video game in and of itself is difficult, especially to nail it. This game does not have anyone, like, any voice lines whatsoever. I mean, I'm not considering like the hey, that's not like voice lines. Nobody in Little Nightmares 2 or even Little Nightmares 1 speaks at all. Yet there's so much story implications with the environment and the bosses, and you can kind of... It's like Tarsier Studios gives you so much information with the environment, with the characters, with what's going on, and then they withhold a little bit and let you figure it out. Like, they'll give you like 85 to 90% of it, and then the last 10%, it's like, okay, you figure it out. But it's all... That's crazy. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love it. The story of Little Nightmares, I mean, when I played the first one, I loved it. This one it's got me invested. I love this game. It was short. It was, you could easily get through this game in about, 4 to 6, maybe 7 hours at best. But wow, I'm blown away. This game was amazing. The storytelling in it, perfect. The environment, perfect. They even fixed a lot of the control issues in like the first game. Having a lot of issues like falling off of things because of the camera and everything. That was relatively fixed, and just the implementation of everything was just top notch. And I'm actually glad I went back. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do all the trophies or whatever. It's a relatively straightforward platinum. There's a couple of extra things, but I heard that there was a secret ending if you got all the glitched remains, so I was like, alright, I'm gonna get all the glitched remains, did all of that, and I'm glad I did before I completed it. So to the couple of people that I know that are going to be playing this game that haven't yet seen this, I'm gonna tell them the same thing. I'm like, hey, go through the game, get up to the last chapter. I'll just tell them, hey, there's 5 chapters, get up to the 4th, beat the 4th chapter, and then go back and get all the glitched remains if you haven't before you play the final one. Because, so, as you can see, there's glitched remains and hats in 4 of the chapters, and then the 5th chapter, the last one, the signal tower, there's nothing. So yeah, that was... Hold on. I gotta check something. Because I got all the hats, but I was missing one. But it says I've got them all. So I want to check something. Hold on. Since it's been revealed, and this is, like I said, this is the hallway at the end, at the beginning, and then at the end when we're, find out that we're the Thin Man. This is the hallway that I was talking about in the very beginning. And then Mono wakes up. Obviously in front of a TV. That just kind of, seems like it just spit him out. Yep, I did get it. The Thin Man's hat. And I just got the platinum. Wow, this game is... The soundtrack, creepy and eerie, the characters and the environment just sell it. Just the hopelessness and futility of, oh, I'm small, I can't do much. Oh, I love this game. This is awesome. I really hope that they come out. I don't know how they would do a Little Nightmares 3, but I hope they do, because that would be awesome. And one other thing before I end the stream. I'm glad that they didn't do... There's a trophy in Little Nightmares 1. It's for the hardcore fans. I don't think I'll ever get it, but there's a trophy to beat the game without dying once in like under an hour or something like that, which is possible, but very, very difficult, especially with, the possibility of falling off due to cameras and crap like that. I'm glad that they didn't do an achievement similar to that. Makes it more player friendly, if you will. But it's still a relatively... It can be difficult at times. Definitely scary, definitely creepy. There's been several times where it's just kind of taken me... It's just... This game's great. To anybody who hasn't played it or has the ability to play it, I absolutely recommend it. Granted, if you're watching the stream, you probably either already played it or are spoiled for surprises. But that being said, it's been a blast. Had a great time, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.